I might start by getting everyone around me to introduce themselves and talk a bit about, not all of it, but a bit about what they're going to be speaking of.
Alright, hi everyone. My name's Ryan O'Connor. A lot of you will already know me. I'm the writer and director of Soldiers Under Sentence, and I'm the executive producer of Someone New Theatre Company. So that's mainly my role in the company. But this year I will be spearheading 2 major projects and several events that I'll be talking about later, which I'm very, very excited about. So I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Hi, me?
You. Yes.
Okay.
You.
My name's Ethan Cook. I will be talking about One Strange Night at Jump Up Hotel, which is a story that I have written and will be directing this time next year. I have been acting now for about 5 or 6 years. This is the first one I will be writing and directing myself. I was also in Soldiers Under Sentence with El Capitan over there. Yeah.
I'm Jo Lusty, I'm one of the founders at Someone New, and I am directing Between Sleeps, our first full-length production of 2023. So I'll be talking a bit about that. I will also be talking today about, it's here somewhere, Theatre Podsy and how that's going to look next year, and also One Day Wonders, as well as, am I doing Tea Tales Thespian Folk?
Are you doing
I
Tea
can do
Tales?
Tea Tales if you like.
Never
Never mind, rescind that. I'm talking about One Day Wonders and Theatre Podsy as well.
I'm Will, so I've been an improviser for the last 10 years, mostly performed in Canada. Ryan has asked me to start a little Geelong improv group that we will be calling Someone Say Something, and we will start that this year, which will be exciting, but I'll talk about that more.
And finally, I am Gracie. I am also one of the co-founders of Someone New, and I will, as we have just said, be doing Tea Tales and Thespian Thoughts, which is basically a once-a-month gathering of play readings and stuff, which I'll talk about later, obviously. All right, so I would also like to, as it says, extend appreciation for the people who have been working with Someone New this past year. I do have a list. There is the GGCI, which we love working with, Eastern Hub, obviously, because we're here, Emma Watson, who has done so much for us this year, as well as Jail, and Pivot Music, or Geelong Jail, I should say, specifically. Yes, okay, so we've had a brief overview. I reckon we launch into each individual little thing. Let's start. Yes,
Between Sleeps.
Sleeps.
Alright, so as I said, I'm directing Between Sleeps. It's our first full-length production of next year. Rehearsals start in January and production week will start in mid-March. The performances themselves will run from the 23rd of March to the 2nd of April. We're doing a really cool thing with the production. We are having 1 week here in Geelong at Eastern Hub, and then another week down at Torquay at Shoestring Theatre. Just spreading it around a bit, making it easier for people to travel along Bellarine to see shows, so they don't have to trek for hours for a show. Auditions are coming up on December 17th and 18th. We have an expression of interest form over there. It's got a QR code, so just take a photo with your phone. It'll take you straight to the link, and you fill out the form to audition for that play. Please audition, it's really fun. I'm about to go into a bit more detail about it. It is a sci-fi to start with, which I'm incredibly excited about putting sci-fi on stage. It's never done, and I love sci-fi, so enough said. But really the science fiction is just the setting for the play. It's more an exploration of human nature, how we react to isolation, how that affects our psyche, suspicion between people, and it's really a character-driven piece. So I am looking for actors that can really dive into that exploration of human nature. What else do I want to talk about with it? The vision, I guess, for it is I'm going for that real suspense and thriller vibe that you get from original sci-fi like the Alien series, certain Star Trek episodes. less of the pew pew Star Wars, more of the real in-depth study of humanity, as I said. I've done season dates, audition process. For the audition process itself, it will be a short monologue of a character of your choice from the play, as well as a monologue of your choice from a modern play as well. Again, that's up to whoever's auditioning. Just bring something in that explores humanity's deepest, darkest traits is what I'm looking for. The rehearsal schedule, as I said, will start in mid-January, January 17th, and runs for roughly 9 weeks until we get to production week with the dress rehearsal and the tech run, all that kind of stuff. I have prepared with my co-hosts here a small excerpt from the script just to give you guys a bit of a taster of what it's about. So, context for this scene: the two of the crew have just been trapped in the bridge by the AI system that runs the ship to keep the ship safe from a potential intruder. So we have the Gracie reading for Faria, Ethan reading for Monty, and I have a couple of backlines to read. So, everyone ready?
Yes.
Aye. In your own time.
Oh, it is also a cold read.
It is just a cold read, so
Very cold.
you get what you get.
Frozen read.
There we go. Vac, speak to me.
Good morning, Anson.
Run a self-diagnostic first. How are you doing?
This is a limited access security iteration of the VAC computer running at 98% efficiency.
Is that good?
As good as we can hope for. Couldn't get the whole computer online, just the security iteration. Vac, can you do an internal scan of the ship, please? First for hazards and then for life signs.
No immediate hazards are detected within the ship. There is a slight variance in the gravitation field in the main core.
That's fine, well within specs.
There are 143 human life signs within the cryogenic labs.
Good.
There is 1 human life sign on the engineering level.
That's the captain.
There is 1 human life sign in the habitation module.
Cool, that's Gwen. So everyone's still
There is
alive.
1 human life sign on the bridge. Security iteration hibernating.
Stay where I can see you.
No worries there. I'm not coming anywhere near you.
What happened to the real ensign?
What happened to the real Monty?
Fine, don't tell me.
Me? You're the one who... Of course. It makes sense now. You were the one that was supposed to be up when that malfunction was happening last night. Ugh. We made out after that. That's disgusting.
Hey, I don't know. I got to third base with an alien. I feel like Captain Kirk.
Oh, don't be glib.
I'm not being glib, I'm just...
What did you do to the real Monty? Is he still alive?
Yes, I am. Don't you try and turn this back on me. I'm the human one.
Really, Mr. Woke up from Cairo sleep yesterday. I knew you were too cute to be real with your stupid sexy butt.
You like my butt?
Your weird alien butt.
I like your butt too.
Don't you sweet talk me, Mr. Nice Hair.
There we go. A quick little taster for you. So as you can see, it does have its comedic moments as well. It's not just all suspense the entire time. So yeah, looking for actors that can pull that off. And now I'm open to taking questions from you guys about the play. If you don't have questions, that's also really cool.
How many actors are you looking for?
I am looking for 2 female roles, 2 male roles, anyone over the age of 18, I'm happy and flexible with age, and 1 gender non-specific role. I am also looking for a circus performer for a certain mystery role in there. I won't give too much away, so if anyone knows anything about that, let me know.
Deep space surface performance.
Yes.
Is it anti-gravity?
Yes, they are the personification of anti-gravity. So those are the actors I'm looking for. I am also on the lookout for a production manager and sound and lighting crew. If anyone, again, is interested, let me know. Other than that, the team consists so far of myself, and Gracie will be my assistant director, keeping me in line.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. Any other questions?
What's the running time?
Runtime is roughly an hour 45, give and take for certain scene changes and things like that, but it does happen on a static set, so I'm hoping, yes, static set, so I'm hoping that that can be an hour and 45 minutes.
Going
routinely.
straight through?
Yeah, running straight through. Oh, no, running with an intermission. Sorry about that. Any other questions?
How will you go about bringing them back to the performance?
VAC?
Will it be side stage? Will it be
That is a really good question. So VAC is the AI system on the ship. The way I intend on doing this is they will not be on stage at all during the performance. They will be in the wings with a microphone and their voice will be coming over the speakers. So for the actor, it will still be a live performance. They'll still be there reading the lines and reacting to the characters on stage. However, they won't be seen, and they can have script in hand, so they don't even really need to memorize anything, which is pretty cool.
It's kind of role.
It's the best kind of role. Again, non-gender specific, just looking for someone that can portray a really good AI system. Yeah.
And given that you're going to Torquay, I presume it's a minimal set.
It's fairly minimal. We do have some plans to really condense it down as best we can. Most of the bridge of the ship is just created with seating, a few desks, so computer panel things, as light as we could possibly create, and some Broadway flats for the walls to lock the actors in the bridge, basically. Yeah. Any other questions? Again, if you think of any questions, you can also just email the company. We've got business cards over there with all our contact details on them.
Brilliant.
So that's pretty much me.
All right, thanks, Joe. Let's move on to Ryan now.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Now I'm going to talk about two productions because I'm particularly greedy. Now, for those of us who have the flyers that we're distributing today, I would like to first acknowledge that there is not a typo, but an active mistake on them. The flyers say that we'll be putting on Macbeth at the jail from the 13th to the 23rd of July. Unfortunately, we will not be doing that. However, it's for a very good reason. As people may know, this month we put on Soldiers Under Sentence at the Old Geelong Jail as a live performance, which was an amazing experience and was truly fantastic to be able to put history on stage right where it happened 80 years ago. The great news is that the City of Greater Geelong loved the performance so much that they've asked us to do a similar production next year. So in the winter months we will be writing, rehearsing and performing an original play about the Geelong Jail's history that we will perform right in the circle in the jail in a very similar way to the way that we did Soldiers Under Sentence. So we have decided to put it in the 1890 to 1910 time period. We're looking for a cast of about 12, but a lot of the script is still underway. I'm very, very keen for it to happen, and I need to develop a big team for it. So I'm going to need an assistant director. I'll be directing it myself. I'll need a production manager, lighting and sound operators, because Soldiers Under Sentence was quite minimalist in terms of sets, props, and lighting. And for the next iteration, we're going to go a lot bigger. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. So we will be auditioning for that in May 2023 to perform July, as I said, 13th to the 23rd. It'll be a Thursday to Sunday run, same as we did for Soldiers, with 2 performances on a Sunday, and we will of course be recording the performance live to be distributed digitally for those in our audience who are unable to make the live performance. Any questions about that extremely long and fast spiel? That was a lot of info there. Anyone? Right.
Talk a bit about how it's going to be more of a collaborative process.
Sure.
No.
For Soldiers Under Sentence, no, I'm ramping up to it. I've got to construct the sentence before I open my mouth. For Soldiers Under Sentence, we were approached by the Greater Geelong Creative Inc., who gave us a very, very thick folder of the military records for the jail's operation and said, make a play about this one specific 15-minute incident. And we did, which was fantastic. This second version of the project is a lot more open-ended in terms of what the play is actually going to contain. It will be original, that's part of the requirement of what we're doing. But because we haven't got the same kind of requirements in terms of this is the exact source material we need to use, we are going to make it much more of a collaborative process with the actors to develop a script that's going to be naturalist, that's going to flow freely and going to have more of an input from a larger group of people than Soldiers of the Sentence did, which was just written by me. And is that one? Yeah. All right. Any questions again before I move on to the next play? Brilliant. Because the third play we're going to put on this year is going to be in October. We'll perform from the 19th to the 29th of October. Again, it's going to be a 2-weekend run. And this is the one I'm really excited about. It's another science fiction play. For those of us who don't like science fiction, I say, you know, yeah, no, just
Try it again.
no, think about it again. Think about it again. Because The Voice in the Lightning is not a full-length play. It is an anthology of 3 short plays that follow the same storyline, which is about a computer who slowly gains sentience and becomes more and more human. The exciting part is this isn't even the full play. We're going to put on 3 more plays next year and another full-length play after that. We're going to record them all digitally because all 7 of those plays form the same storyline, the same characters, the same themes, the same history that will be shared across a theatre production that will take 3 years to complete.
Cool.
It's called The Builders, The Breakers, The Universe Makers, and I'm so excited to be able to try Saga Theatre properly. It does mean, of course, that we will have a very large digital part, but we will be rehearsing it later in the year. It's going to overlap with the next production we're going to talk about, Jumbuck, but it's going to be such a wonderful opportunity to explore what theatre can do over the long term. So the run itself is only 2 weekends, but as I said, for those of us who are interested in a more long-term commitment, we will be picking up the same characters, the same themes, the same history next year for 3 further one-act plays, and then the following year after that for the final full-length production, which will cap off the entire drama. I'm so excited, guys. It's an original play, or 3 original plays. I've written them. I've developed them with the rest of Someone New so that they're good. We've actually already performed the first part, The Silent War, for Theatre Podsy 2021 last year. So some of our audience members have been involved in that. But for those of us who are interested in what the play contains, you can look up The Silent War on our website. We also have further details about both of the plays that I'm talking about now on our website as well, under ACT, the subheading ACT. Voice in the Lightning and Shadows of History. There's another long spiel. Any questions? Do you have questions?
I do actually.
Yeah, okay.
If you're an actor and you're in the first section, it being a 3-year.
Good question. You don't have to be involved in all 3. Absolutely not. There's no requirement to do that. It's just for those of us who finish a play and then say, you know, that was really, really good. I need a break of, you know, a couple of months. But then I'd love to have done that again. Here's your opportunity. Here is your opportunity for that to really continue. Yeah, you can keep working on the same character over a much longer period of time than you would normally be able to. It's very exciting in that way. Yeah. Yes?
Will it then be a traveling type production? Will it move at all in the course of those years?
Oh, that's an excellent question. At this point, the idea for Voice in the Lightning is that it will be a location-specific play. So there's a few locations that we're checking out at the moment, but it's going to be performed in the round in a non-theatre space. That's all I'm going to say until we've confirmed more. The later versions will probably be the same, but we are going to design the set, the lights, the costumes, the props, so they are all modular. So we have the opportunity to tour it at later times, particularly if we can retain much of the same cast and we can bring back the previous iterations of the play for a much longer theatre extravaganza in the future. Love a theatre extravaganza.
So the 3 plays in this anthology will be using the same actors, different actors, and how many?
We're calling for 12 actors. Yeah. It shares 5 actors. So each of the 3 plays, 5 of them reprise their roles. So the 3 plays are called Silent War, The Ninth Rule, and The Silicon Crown. It's all slightly futuristic. It is about without giving too much away, it's about global warming and the energy crisis and the inevitable downfall of humanity and the rise of machines, which is,
Cheery.
very cheerful. We love that. But it's also about what it means to be a person who has to be aware of the future as well as being aware of the past. How we choose to be conscious of who we want to be to the people around us, and how those choices impact on how other people see us as a person that's independent of who we are on the inside. Which is complex philosophical stuff. Sci-fi, love it.
Brian, it'd be quite an interesting concept over that period to do the same play, but each one through the eyes of a different character.
It would be very interesting to change it up like that. Oh, man. It's one of the reasons I'm so excited to do it, particularly because of the versions that we've already done. We did a prototype version back in 2017. We did the Silent War back last year, and now we're doing this final version, which is going to, again, take place over 3 years. So it itself will evolve as a script, will evolve the characters, will evolve the themes. So it's almost going to do that naturally. I would say those perspectives are going to change over time. It's so exciting. I'm so excited, everyone. Yes.
If someone wanted to get involved,
Yes.
but they weren't sure about the commitment, or they were interested in some of your other works too, how much does it cost?
That's a great question.
Because you've got a lot on.
In terms of the rehearsal times, they are actually on separate days to our following production, which is going to be Jump Up. So as Ethan will say in a bit, Jump Up will rehearse on Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Voice and the Lightning will rehearse Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. So if you're a masochist and you only want one night off a week, you're very able to do both of those things. You're allowed to. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And in terms of the longer commitment as well, as I said, there is no compulsion for you to commit to all three at the same time. It is just an opportunity for us to do several things over the long period. Particularly if you have worked on it before, the person, and you can't do the following, the person who reprises your role will be required to study how you performed that role in the first iteration. It will be passing the torch from actor to actor in that case, which is also really exciting. So excited. Any other questions? Or yes?
You spoke about swapping out the actors, but what about the behind-the-scenes team in terms of your assistant directors and your lighting?
Yeah, I'm as at this point, I'm the only confirmed member of the team, except for our marketing, which will be handled by Elizabeth for this first year. There's no reason for me to keep the same production team. I will, of course, stay on as director for the entire time and producer, because it's mine. Take it away from me if you want. But no, if anyone wants to be involved as production manager, as lighting or sound designer, which for a sci-fi, lighting and sound designer is a pretty sweet gig. We've got makeup and costume requirements. We're going to have to make someone look like a robot. It's going to be fantastic. So if you do want to be involved behind the scenes, but again, can't commit to the full 3 years, you're still very, very, very able to. There's no reason not to. For those of us who are interested in helping out behind the scenes, there is a QR code at the back, and there's also a link on our website that will allow you to express your interest in joining our team backstage as well as on stage.
Because we realise that everyone wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
It's very fair.
Yeah. Great question. Any others? All right. I'm gonna shut up now.
Yes, please. Move on to Ethan.
Yes,
then.
Ethan, take it
Alright,
away.
I'm going to talk about One Strange Night at the John Buck Hotel, which is another science fiction.
I sense a theme.
No, not really. It's okay. We're not all science fiction nerds. Now, I've never done this before, so I've written a big spiel.
That's great.
And I may give away too much information.
Oh no.
So if I do, forget it by
Next year.
this time. So the idea is that this time next year we'll be running it. It requires 6 actors. The script is literally just being finished. It's in my hand right now. Yeah, so I'll go through it. Now, I personally have been a huge horror movie fan most of my life. So this story is particularly, it's about human rights, in particular, based in a horror movie context. Horror movies have always been used as a way of sort of shining a light on social norms and what's going on in human existence, basically. So this is a way of doing it. Essentially, this is a fun play. It's a horror play, which I've personally never seen a horror play done before, but it is done in a way to make the audience drive home wondering what they just saw. But at the same time, understanding that there is massive underlying racial issues going on in Australia. So I'll read what I've written here. It's set in a remote outback hotel. Mick, a stereotypical Australian redneck with a taste for right-wing propaganda, is drinking his 4X beer, poured by the lovely switched-on Lily, reading his Murdoch news rags and listening to Sky News. When two American backpackers enter, they are laden with the prospect of a dead car trying to get it fixed in the middle of the Australian desert. Enter Lachlan, a frenzied and bloodied individual who warns the inhabitants of an invasion of sorts and instructs them to board up the door or they're all going to die. Alright. They're soon joined by Kalara, an Indigenous Australian man who's running for council. Jumbuck at its core is a story about the underlying racism issue in Australia. Through the storytelling technique of survival horror, we unpack the prejudice and discrimination that is flowing right under our feet. The hotel itself serves as the country of Australia, its walls are our boundaries. The inhabitants are a snapshot of our community. Mick is the easy-led racist, whose own anger and narrow-mindedness is fueled by a dangerously provocative media. Chad and Brittany are the two sides of our immigrant community, the side that wants to change our outdated ways and bring us in line with the rest of the world, and the other that believes that our place is not to interfere, even if it means being discriminated against. Lachlan, the guy that enters warning of the apocalypse, represents our media. They are essentially the ones with the information and present it as they please. Keeping people in the dark just makes them more powerful. Lily represents the majority, who's the bartender, represents the majority of Australians. She knows there's a problem. She's against racism and discrimination. She knows right from wrong, due to either believing there is no use or not knowing how, doesn't strive to actively change anything. And that leaves Kalara. He's not only a representation of Indigenous Australians, but he serves to smash down the stereotype. He says that he's used to being called, he's used to racism, but should he be? The outside threat is the representation of immigrations and asylum seekers. Lachlan, being the media, lets the inhabitants know what he wants them to know. The threat itself isn't important, but it's how it's sold to them. So these six need to survive the night, but what's the biggest threat? The outside threat or each other? If they're going to defeat the big racist elephant in the room, being Mick, they'll need to work together. So the idea is that there's a lot of action, a lot of colourful language. It's very realistic in that it's how people would behave trapped in a situation. If anyone's seen survival horror movies before, you know it's more about the situation you're in than the actual disaster itself. So that's what this is. It's shining a light on the racism issues going on in Australia in a horror sense.
It's all right. Let's go on to talking about the Laugh-a-thon Day.
Okie dokie. The Laugh-a-thon Day is a full 8-hour Laugh-a-thon festival that will be here. We will be putting on a couple different improvised pieces, but the goal is that something will be on for the full 8 hours. Both scary and exciting. Previously, I have done a charity soap opera that runs in Canada every year, so it goes from 10 o'clock at night to 10 o'clock the next morning. That is a completely different thing, but I'm telling the story because it can be done, it will be done, and it is an amazing thing to be a part of. And Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, that we will be raising money?
Yes, the idea is that it will be a, in the same way that, for instance, Crazy Hair Day, or what's the one where you shave your hair off? What's that one called?
World's Greatest Shame.
World's Greatest Shame. Thank you. the actors raise money for them to perform for as long as possible over the course of this day, so that we can raise money for an associated charity, TBD. We need to get them to confirm. But yes, it's to firstly be the first production that our improv troupe will really showcase their stuff. And secondly, it will be the first open day for any member of the community to come in and join on the improv exercises that we have. And then thirdly, it's our opportunity to
Get the word out.
get the word out. Yeah, not just about us, but about what theatre can do in a good way.
No, I'm very excited. Scared and excited. 8 hours of improv is insane.
Yeah. So for those of us who have Death Wish,
A fun
hit us up.
Death Wish.
Yeah.
You'll
Fun
die of
wish.
laughter.
Love it. No, it's going to be really,
Eco-friendly.
really fun. I've also been involved in long form improv before. Back at my university, we tried to set the Guinness World Record for the longest improvised piece, and it went for over a day.
Did you get the record?
We did not. No.
The record is like 3 days.
Several people fainted from exhaustion, because you tag team, you tag in, you tag back out again. It's very, very fun. It's not you on stage for the whole time, unless you really do have a Death Wish. But I think it's so fun. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to be involved, and it is such an achievement to be involved in as an actor. Cannot recommend it enough. It was very formative.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Any questions?
What's the date?
Great question. April 1st. It'll be April 1st from
It is not
9 a.m.
April Fool's.
to 5 p.m. It is not April Fool's, that is correct. But it is a day generally associated with fun. Fun.
The joke is you show up and no one's here.
Fun. Yeah, that's the prank. Any other questions?
All right, let's move on to the Youth Week workshops.
Yes, I'm going to bounce off what Will said and say that in 2023, as you may have gathered, we are very, very pleased to be entering into a creative collaboration with Eastern Hub Geelong. So we will be having all of our rehearsals here. We'll even be performing a part of Between Sleeps here, and we will be hosting several events. We're only going to talk about a handful of them now, but we're going to be hosting a bunch of events right here in this space for the community to get involved in theatre. So Laugh-a-thon is only one of them. That's going to be the opening event. We've got several others. So this year, I'm actually going to bounce to Theatre Podsy. First. So we ran Theatre Podsy last year. Joe's going to chat about it this year.
Yeah. So Theatre Podsy, for those of you who don't know, is our radio play festival. It was created by Greater Geelong Creative Incorporated in 2019, and we've been involved with it, just providing actors and directors and plays from the very start. It's a really great opportunity for anyone who likes the acting aspect, the voice acting aspect, without necessarily having to show their face to people. We record these plays professionally at a recording studio, so you get high quality podcasts and radio plays out of it. This year we are looking to do it similarly to this year just gone, 2022, where we will either have one full-length play or 2 one-act plays. It depends on writers, TBD, etc. On top of that, we will also be running it live. So the way that works, if you attended our Theatre Podsy Festival this year, is we will hold it at Eastern Hub here in this very room. There will be some microphones here, and our actors will be recording live for you as well. The themes of the play, again, TBD, we may have a comedy, we may have a drama, we may have a tragedy, just something that works in audio format. We may try to avoid sci-fi, just to not be those guys. Anyway.
Why is the script TBD, Joe?
The script is TBD because it hasn't been written yet.
Because we are getting it
Because
from
we are getting it from our people.
local writers, yeah?
Oh,
Same as this year.
we're getting the play from local writers. There we go. So we will be doing a writer call out for Theatre Podsy. So if you have a short play or a full-length play that you are interested in turning into a radio play, hit me up.
Yeah, it's been competitions in the past where we've asked writers to submit
Yes. This year it will not be a competition-based thing, it will just be a submissions-based one. Feel free to email me for more information on that. Only real requirements is that it's not
Science fiction.
science fiction. I will put my foot down, it's not science fiction. And it's not slathered with swears and inappropriate language. We do try to market this for everyone's as an audience. So it would be fun if kids could come along and listen to it. Sort of thing. Yeah. Did I miss anything else? I think that sort of sums it up.
Who's got questions?
Who has questions is the next step. Nice.
Cool.
If in doubt, just message me. Cool.
Alright, I'm going to take that one back because I'm going to bounce off with its paired event.
Yes.
So Theatre Podsy, which we've run in the past, is the podcast version of plays. We get local plays, we put them on as podcasts, we record them in front of a live audience, and then we can distribute them digitally. I will say, unlike our major productions, this is not profit share because there's no profit.
So it is profit share.
Well,
It is.
yeah, yes, you know,
Profit is
it's-
joy.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know, the friends we made along the way, etc. This year, we're adding in another event to pair with it. Theatre Podsy is the podcast theatre event. We're adding in Speaking Old, Speaking New, which is going to be an interview event. So in the past, there have been other companies, other groups, other community events in which people come together with their own real stories, and then they present those stories to an audience, and the audience will vote on which stories are best. We're taking that idea, we're going to film those events live in front of an audience, and then we're going to have the real stories of the local community that we can then distribute. So this isn't just for actors. We will get any member of the community, we can coach them through how to present in front of a camera. So for those of us who want that skill, this is a fantastic opportunity. And then we can use those interviews to showcase for posterity local Geelong stories. So it's to go with Theatre Podsy in that way. Rather than just sound, this is video. So we do live, we do sound, we do video, we do everything. We do science fiction, we do more science fiction.
And don't forget, science
And
fiction.
also science fiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bit horror.
And sometimes horror. So that's Speaking Old, Speaking New, which will be run across the course of a week in August, right here at Eastern Hub Geelong, which we're very, very excited about. More details on that to come, but that one will really specifically will be pushing. That's got to be a call out. People have got to bring their own stories. If you've got relatives nearby, if you know people in community groups from Indigenous community groups, from immigrant community groups, from etc., from even people who
Hair-raising stories,
Yeah.
feel-good stories,
all
the stories.
kinds of stories. The idea is this: we make an anthology of what the theatre of life gathered in the orchard of our backyard. Whatever. I'm improvising, guys. It's a skill. So that's Speaking Old, Speaking New. I'm gonna pass back to Joe.
About bouncing back, we're doing One Day Wonders now.
Yeah.
All right, so One Day Wonders. This is basically a play in a day. So the point of One Day Wonders in September of next year is it's compressed theatre, basically. You go from creating a story in the morning and being walked through how to do that to then getting your costumes and your set ready from things that we as a company will provide, and then putting the play on at night. So it's a big day, it is huge, but it is a really cool concept.
And it is a one-day wonder.
And it is a one-day wonder. It's been done before. I believe MTC's done a few of them. Yeah, is that what you were telling me?
I've done a couple of them up in Melbourne.
There we go.
Yeah.
So it's
Unis
an
do it a
awesome
lot as well.
idea. Unis do it a lot, and it's just to get the community creating, basically. With this, there is an 18 plus on this one, is
Yes.
that correct? Yes, so it is only 18 and above, just because otherwise every single community member involved would have to have a working with children's, and of course that's just a logistical nightmare. So instead, 18 plus, but for all the ages above that, we can teach the basics of theatre as we go, and script writing and costume design, lighting, everything, all in one day.
Very fast learning curve.
Very fast. You're thrown in the deep end a little bit, but in a very supportive and safe space. So I guess it pairs a little bit with improv. You've got to really think on your feet a bit for it. What else am I'm definitely forgetting stuff.
Is it a one play preparation of one play, or
Yes.
is it teams?
So working together. Is it teams? I thought it was one player.
You've got to use the whole building.
Oh,
Whole
there you go.
building.
This is new. We are using the whole building apparently, and it will be teams. There we go.
Now this one's under discussion because the original idea was that we do one play with a small group of people. However, it has come to our attention none of the rest of the building is being used, so we're going to use the entire building. We're going to have several teams, and we can put all of them at the end of the day.
And just 10-minute.
Yeah, they won't be long.
Yeah.
I take it it's script in hand. You're not expected to memorise a script in a day.
You are expected
Yes,
to
you
memorize
are.
the script.
Yeah.
It's only 10 or 15. Or
Oh, okay.
You can improvise it. You just get. The point of it is you create something in a day. We're not expecting
it's
miracles.
not a full 2-act play. It's a 15-minute.
I mean, if you can.
That's more handy.
I mean, maybe.
More reasonable.
But yeah, the point is you will be supported through it. Personally, I would be for prompting if possible and things like that, just to help out those who are new to the theatre scene as well. It can be very intimidating to do a play in a day, even if it is only 10 to 15 minutes. Point is, it'll be a safe space to create that.
It's cool.
Anything else? Any questions?
Will it be one-day wonders, or will it go several different days?
Just one this year. We want to test out the success of the idea before we try doing it more regularly.
So you said that it's the whole thing start from finish. So do the people in the group create and write the script at the start as well themselves? They don't have. Are they given a theme? Are they given a?
There will be a theme.
Especially if there's teams.
It's not sci-fi. The
It's-
theme is not sci-fi.
And also the theme will be developed on the day. That's one of the parts that will be.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
So
robots
you
and
can't
spaceships
come in with a
and
pre-filled idea. You
No,
just
you can't come in with an already written script.
And the point is we will be helping. Oh, someone's stuck. We'll throw an idea in there to help them out. Yeah. Any other questions, or shall we move on?
That's exciting. I've been wanting
I'm
to
so
do playing a day
Yeah.
in Geelong
Very
for
much.
15 years.
Well, here's your opportunity.
September.
It's part of us trying to ramp up the events that we do. So the play in the day we'll test out this year, but if we can do it more regularly, we will do more regularly. We've been talking about theatre sports for literal years. It's the purest form of competitive theatre for anyone who wanted that in your life. We want to start trying things out, building an audience, building a pool of actors who want to be involved in things like this. So
Having fun.
yeah. If you want the bigger stuff, get involved with the smaller stuff now so that we can transition to doing bigger stuff more regularly. Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to someone say something?
We sort of already
We
We've
did,
done that,
we did.
basically.
That's
Okay,
right.
okay. Oh, it's me.
It's
Tea
you.
Towels and
It's
Thespian
you.
Thoughts. Okay, so Tea Towels and Thespian Thoughts happened a few years back. I'm thinking early 2019, before the pandemic hit. And it was just an opportunity for a bunch of creatives to come together and perhaps run an idea in a group of people of a theatre script that they might have and kind of flesh it out in a group, or read a little portion of their script that they're kind of wanting thoughts on. It's just a collaboration of artistic people coming together to chat. If you want to talk about a theatre show you've just seen and recommend it to people, bring it in. It's basically just a night where people can come together and chat theatre.
Social theatre.
Exactly. It's going to happen on the first Wednesday of every month, hosted by the lovely Sarah Sims, who is with us today.
The elf in the back.
The elf in the back. But yeah, it's happened before, and we loved running it. Then the pandemic hit, and we haven't touched it since. And every session was different. We had days where we just talked about a specific show. We had days where someone brought in an idea. We had days where we had a play reading. Yeah, it's just creatives getting together. Any questions about that?
I did have on that note just a little bit of more explanation. It is a little bit of a networking event in a sense. I know people don't really like that word because we're all introverts. But we're all actors, but we're all introverts. It's really weird. But it's for new people in the Geelong region who may want to get into theatre but have no clue where to start.
Or writers.
Or
Doesn't
writers
have to be actors.
who may have never put on a play before, but they want to put on a play and they don't know where to start. It's a safe space where you can just come and chat as a creative person, not necessarily as an actor or writer or whatever you are as a profession. Just come and hang out.
Or
and
if you're just wanting to make mates.
yeah,
It's honestly just for people who want to come and chat.
yeah, it's very just a very chill, regular event.
What's the community in theatre community?
You need to stop.
You shut up. Can we Zoom it so those are really introverted people? can
That's an
still be-
excellent question. It'll be held in this room every Wednesday night, and as you can see, there's a rather large chat.
Yeah, so we could definitely.
So,
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
it's TBC, but I don't see
Even
why
if
not.
you just done a little laptop in the corner.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's okay too.
This day
For
and age.
those of us who have poor memories or don't watch all of this, is there a way we can find out all this information? Like, do you have a website
That's
or
a
mailing
great
list
question,
or anything like
and-
that where you might get involved?
Is that the guys who say?
So, yes.
I'm on teleprompter here.
Smooth, Sarah, real smooth.
For those of us who can't see the rather large sign waving at the back of the audience, yes, we do have a website. The website has details about all of the projects that we've just talked about, and for those of us who do require regular reminders, we have a mailing list. We send out an email on the first day of every month, or is it the last day of every? It's about there.
It's sometimes
4 days.
We mix it up.
Busy I am.
Yeah, for the first 4 days every month, we will send out an email which will generally contain information about what's currently rehearsing or what production is currently performing or photos of, behind the scenes or what production members we're looking for. It's, if you want to get involved, if you want reminders about these things, sign up for the mailing list. That's the best way to get this information. It's at the bottom of the website.
on the front page.
So if you go onto the website, you can find underneath our headings the individual pages for all of these events that we've got up behind us, everything that we've spoken about today, including Someone Say Something, and we'll be adding in our Tea Tales and Thespian Thoughts as well. If you scroll down to the bottom of any of the pages, you will find our email address, you'll find the mailing list. You can't possibly get lost. Also follow us on social media as well. Yeah, I've got that too. Thank you.
Not to mention, you can always ask us questions.
Yeah,
We're happy to answer them.
Just send us a message. Yeah, we're pretty chill. Most of us.
You are.
Any questions from the audience before we wrap up for today?
I think we've chatted.
I
quite
think we've
a lot.
talked a lot.
We've
Yeah.
talked a lot.
Let's thank everybody who came today. Thank you very much for turning up for our season launch.
Yes, and thank you, digital peeps, for watching online. We prefer our live audiences, but thank you for coming and watching anyway. We hope that you get involved.
Yeah, we'll hang about for a bit if anyone has questions that they didn't want to ask during our display. But yeah, once again, thank you everyone for coming.